Okay, now we're talking. So LTE global walkie-talkies that goes on cellular network. This dual multi-band Baofeng UV5RX, which ham operators love. And this 2-in-1 model. You can see there are two parts of the screen. Oh, maybe it's a little bit hard to see. The part on the top, that is LTE global walkie-talkie. As you can see, it's talking to the LTE walkie-talkie. Let me give you a demonstration. Testing, LTE global walkie-talkie. Yeah, so it's talking. If you're in Germany, you're in Berlin walking on the streets. Me, I could be in Bali, Indonesia, you know. And we'll just talk like that. And that works, right? And the part in the bottom on the screen, not the top part, but the bottom part. That part for this specific device, it has a UHF, which is ultra high frequency radio in it. And what does it do if it's on the same frequency? It does talk to this radio. You can see this Baofeng had lit up, right? Talking. Can you hear me? Okay, very well. Testing. As you can see, sorry, these two radios are too close. So I didn't want to poke anybody's ears, but yeah, so this black button there talks to the UHF frequency. And the top part talks to what? LTE global walkie-talkies. As you can see, there's a lag for the LTE WAC because it went to the towers, right? And there's no lag for the ham WAC because just line of sight, point to point by frequencies, right? What's crazy is that, let me turn this down a little bit. The LTE radio and the ham radio should never talk, right? Because why? You already know they work in completely different ways, right? See, Baofeng is transmitting right now, and this thing, nothing happens. And the Narvik radio right here, the LTE walkie-talkie is talking right now. Nothing happens to Baofeng. But I will show you how these two can talk. It's very crazy, right? So first of all, you go to this dual model. You go to the settings. It might not be easy to see on the screen for the lighting, but you basically go down 4 selections, go to function, and then you go to the repeater or the transfer function. However you want to call it, you can call it a repeater or a transfer function. There are 3 choices there. First one is like basically off, means it's not on, which is where we're at right now. And the second option is called on. So basically enables LTE walkie-talkie and the ham radio to talk through this device if this ham radio is within this radio's range, which is usually around what, 3 to 5 miles, right? That's just like a common sense thing. And this within the range, which is what? Cellular network, but globally. If these two conditions are fulfilled, if this one is basically, hey, it's not in the dead zone, and this one, and this one is in within 3 to 5 miles or whatever the antenna that can reach for this radio right here, this radio becomes what? Becomes a repeater, a transferer, or I should say. So let's turn it on right now. And now it's on. It's like a repeater. So basically this walkie-talkie, you can see it's lit up right now. It's actually pretty crazy. I'm speaking to this LTE walkie-talkie, but the Baofeng is actually receiving my transmissions. Or my signals as I'm transmitting. And then right here for this Baofeng, right? I'm gonna talk to you right now if I can talk to the LTE radios. They talk now. Isn't that insane? It happened. Why? Because this device there, it has the on-grid LTE global walkie-talkie and the off-grid UHF ham radio. Spoiler alert, we're also developing a VHF ham radio too for this guy. So the Baofeng obviously has more bands than the Narvik radio right here. Why? Because it has UHF, VHF, AM, FM, whatever, it's powerful, right? But this thing has UHF. For a lot of people, that is enough because that's what majority of the people use for their business or at home is UHF. Like to everyday common scene like Motorola or Hytera or those famous brands, Samcom, that kind of stuff. They're usually on UHF. And then the third option on the transfer or on the repeater function is called on and on speaker. What does that mean? It means that not only is a repeater now, it also works normally like a walkie-talkie. So it basically still talks like that. So this thing can still talk. See, I'm speaking to LTE radio right now. Both the ham radio and the Duo Link, the 2-in-1 radio, are receiving my signals. That's just basically how it works. And then let me talk on ham. The both can listen to me too. Isn't that crazy? So all three can talk, all three can hear. But a lot of people say, hey, I don't want to hear them. They just turn on the repeater, but they don't choose the repeater plus speaker mode. They just choose on the repeater mode. So that's how it works. Basically off, on, or on with speaker. And the last function I want to demonstrate on this 2-in-1 Duo Link, this guy right there, I'm going to be shy, is the cloning function. Lots of people say, hey, we need to clone our walkie-talkie with our clients because we work in an emergency medical training program or like a EMS or EMT program, and we're in this venue. They give us talkies and we want to talk to them, but they don't have screens on it. Like not like a Baofeng. You know exactly what frequency they're at, right? But they don't tell you. What can you do? How do you talk to them? And all the settings, sub-audio, squelch, and stepping frequency, power, and the narrow and wide band. People just couldn't be bothered to figure out. I love radios. I love both ham and LTE. I do use both of them. I couldn't even be bothered to figure out how. Clone it, right? Cloning the frequencies. So there are two buttons. I'm going to press basically. So this button right here, there's a red button right there. You see this red button? Yes. And on the side, there's another button. This solid dash button, right? So the solid dash button and the red hand up button, I'm going to press both of them together. So I'm going to, change to frequency first. Don't want to mess up the settings I've already done for myself. Okay, now it's on frequency mode, right? You can see it's on, maybe you can, 448, and this radio is on 462, right? They're completely on a different frequency, and let's just say, hey, my Baofeng does not have, or my whatever walkie-talkie does not have a screen. How do you talk to me, right? So you basically press this red hand up button and this solid dash button. Only these two buttons. Press them together, and it says in frequency measurements, right? And don't touch this Duo Link. Just put your ham radio next to it and press on the transmitting button. And then what? Let me redo it. Sorry, I waited too long. You put next to it and you press on the transmitting button. Then it says what? Successful. Can you talk to each other now? Yes.